Former Secretary of Homeland Security in the Obama administration, Jay Johnson. So good to see you, especially on a topic this important. You got Senate Republicans blocking the January 6th commission. We're seeing voting rights legislation. 14 different states have passed new restrictions since the beginning of the year after a completely fair election. What is your level of concern right now?
Stephanie, my level of concern is high. Let's start with this. Members of the United States Senate have chosen to view through a political lens a massive security breach on the U.S. Capitol. I did some research this morning, and I discovered that the legislation to create the 9/11 Commission in 2002 passed the U.S. Senate by a vote of 90-8. That's a lot of Democrats. That's a lot of Republicans. Imagine if the 9/11 legislation failed to pass because Republicans didn't want to embarrass President Bush, for example, because 9/11 happened on his watch. This needs to be viewed as a security issue. It was an attack on the cradle of our democracy during a constitutional function, and it demonstrates that there are major gaps in the jurisdiction and the command and control relationships between the Capitol Police, the National Guard, the Secret Service, and a host of other law enforcement organizations. And 10 nonpartisan, bipartisan, distinguished Americans from defense, homeland security, law enforcement, and even social media should have been given subpoena power and a paid staff to look into this. When it comes to our democracy more generally, Stephanie, the most alarming thing I've seen lately was a poll that came out about a week and a half ago from a group called PRRI. A non-trivial 15% of Americans agree with the sweeping QAnon allegation that the government, media, and financial worlds in the U.S. are controlled by a group of Satan-worshiping pedophiles who run a global child sex trafficking operation. 1 in 6 Americans, Stephanie, have gone off the deep end and have lost a grip on reality. That undermines our democracy, perhaps more than anything else.
So what do we do about it? I actually want to share what Mitch McConnell said, or is currently saying, about the January 6th commission. And we should remember, when we compare this to the 9/11 commission, there were no known members of al-Qaeda voting on that commission, passing it. This is a very different situation. Let's hear what he had to say.
Another layer of investigation, in my view, doesn't add anything. We were all witnesses to it. I was there. We all know exactly what happened. I don't think we would learn anything further by having yet another level of investigation, and that's why I opposed the January 6th Commission. With regard to the future, we're going to arrest, hopefully convict, everybody involved in the insurrection.
He's saying the commission is redundant. They're already all over it.
He's missing the point, either because he's missing it or he doesn't want to see the point. The point is that there was a major security breach on the U.S. Capitol. And going forward, we need to understand how to fix the command and control relationships in case of another insurrection, whether it's a group of Trump supporters or some other group. That is a nonpartisan, apolitical issue that needs to be solved. So he's right. There have been a series of committees that have looked at this, but what changes have been made as a result of those piecemeal efforts? A commission with broad jurisdiction to look at January 6th really is appropriate here.
It's hard to ignore what happened on the 6th. We're looking at those pictures. What people are ignoring are the other attacks we're seeing every single day, cyber attacks, whether it's JBS Meatpacking, Colonial Pipeline. We know that businesses are dealing with this, the administration urging businesses, but beyond that, doesn't this have to be something that DHS takes the lead on? Cyber warfare is currently the biggest risk.
Yes, Stephanie. The way to look at it is this: at the federal level, DHS is the fireman that patches the vulnerability, does the forensics. The FBI, the cops, they catch the bad guys. And if the cyber attack is international in dimension, there's a nation-state actor or a bad actor in another nation, then U.S. Cyber Command, which is part of the Department of Defense, should have a role as well.
All right, Secretary Johnson, always good to see you. You always make us smarter.